The creation of courtroom shows was altered by the Judge Judy show. 25 years after becoming the most popular courtroom show, Judge Judy vanished. Judge Judy, however, kept her job. She made a fresh start and took a totally different approach. Her current status and accomplishments will astound you. Judy Sheindlin, who would go on to become the well-known judge on Judge Judy, witnessed something in February 1993. What she saw would alter her life in ways she could never have predicted. In 1965, Judy passed the New York State Bar exam. She immediately entered the business world, working for a cosmetics company as a corporate lawyer. However, there was an issue. It took her 2 years to realize that she wasn't pleased at her job. In order to spend more time with her children, Jamie and Adam, she resigned from her position. She then made the decision to return to work in 1972. However, she wants something that would bring her joy rather than anger. After learning about it from a friend, she applied to work as a lawyer in New York's family court system. Judy was regarded as remarkable and was hired. Judy rose to fame fast, and because of her toughness, New York Mayor Ed Koch appointed her a criminal court judge in 1982. She was appointed a supervising judge in the family court's Manhattan division in 1986. Her approach to justice was described as rigorous and occasionally brutal. Judy, however, would never concur. However, her popularity was a result of her style. Because she was well known, she asked her husband Josh to write a piece on her. Josh contributed to the Los Angeles Times with a piece about Judy. He described her as a woman who was motivated to appear in court. System that works for everyone's benefit. That piece was really helpful to Judy. It helped her attract the interest of Sandy Spreckman and Kay Switzer, both of whom were employed by the production business Rebel Entertainment. After they informed CBS about Judy, a segment featuring her was broadcast on CBS 60 Minutes. Judy immediately became well-known across the nation since the audience adored her on the show. Judy decided to profit from her increased popularity. Her novel, Don't Pee on My Leg and Tell Me It's Raining, was published in 1996. Then, after hearing over 20,000 cases, Judy resigned from her position as a family court judge. The reasons behind Judy's resignation were unknown. Her appearance on CBS's 60 Minutes left viewers wanting more. The concept for a program similar to The People's Court was developed by Rebel Entertainment and their crew, who then presented it to CBS. Judy was requested to serve as a judge on the court show that would bear her name because they thought the concept was appealing. Yes, she replied, but the show didn't appeal to her. She had a bad relationship with her bailiff. She desired another person. However, who? Judy thought of someone and took up the phone. In 1995, Petrie Hawkinsberg read a news article about Judy's book and thought it was great. In a letter, he assured her that if she ever needed a judge, he would don his uniform once more for her. When his phone rang after she finished speaking, he knew exactly what he was going to say. Judge Judy was created in this manner. She altered the television broadcasting of court shows. Bird and Judy got along very well. He was the severe sheriff who had no personal interest in the case. He maintained order when the lawyers tried to go physical, and the audience appreciated his calm demeanor. His words, "Order, all rise," before each case started were eagerly anticipated by his fans. Judge Judy was more than just the most viewed court show with that kind of connection. It was among the most famous programs ever. It's unfortunate how Bird and Judy's relationship ended, but we'll discuss that at a later date. Every day, between 9 and 10 million people watched Judge Judy. In terms of views, it occasionally even outperformed the Oprah Winfrey Show. The program once had the highest viewership of any afternoon series. How did it rise to the top of the ratings? That is about to happen. More and more people watched the show as it continued. In the end, Judge Judy was trusted by the public more than any of the current Supreme Court justices. However, Judy was not just viewed as a typical judge. They regarded her as one of the most significant figures in the history of pop culture. Judge Judy was always mentioned in shows that aimed to attract viewers. Despite its popularity, the show was not receiving any daytime Emmy awards. Judy, however, continued to receive medals and prizes from other organizations. Judy received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in February 2006. She was inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame in October 2012. She continued to get numerous accolades. She received an award from the UCD Law Society's vice presidency in April 2013. But Judy wasn't pleased. She hoped her show would take home a prize. She had to remind herself that the award-winning shows had ceased or been cancelled, despite her fear. Despite her defeat, Judge Judy continued to draw large audiences, and there was no end in sight. However, a significant event did occur in 2013. Judge Judy was nominated 15 times before receiving its first Emmy. As a result, the show received numerous further prizes. In 2016 and 2017, it took home another Emmy. Judy also continued to receive honors. She received the Hollywood Chamber Community Foundation's Mary Pickford Award at the Heroes of Hollywood event in 2014. On September 14, 2015, Judy became the host of the longest-running courtroom show and the longest-serving judge or arbitrator in the history of courtroom-themed programming, earning her the Guinness World Record. Judge Judy made a lot of money from the show in addition to the prizes she received. She made so much money that it made the news. In early 2005, she earned roughly $25 million annually. Her net worth increased to $95 million, placing her 13th on Forbes' list of the 20 wealthiest women in entertainment. Some people felt that it was unfair that she was so wealthy when justices who oversaw the daily operations of the court were earning significantly less. This was not the only negative comment made against Judge Judy, more will follow. Despite her wealth, Judy was worn out, but she enjoyed her work and her ability to keep an audience's interest. Because of this, she was even more passionate about her work when the studio decided to increase her salary to $45 million annually. This surge, however, was different in some way. The show's popularity grew, and viewers enjoyed Judy's ability to make them feel as though they were actually witnessing something. The audience wants those in court to receive justice as soon as possible, free from lengthy trials, waiting for procedures, dealing with lawyers, or dealing with technicalities. Because she had been in family court for so long, fans referred to her as a human lie detector and felt she was incredibly intelligent. They saw Judy as a true justice warrior who used her words to destroy evildoers. However, this was not the opinion of everybody. Some fans believed she wasn't as excellent of a judge as many believed, but many others appreciated how patient and fair she was in her early Judge Judy appearances. They have even requested that she be removed from the bar. They accused her of being biased against particular groups of people, talking over attorneys, and assuming things about cases before they were heard. These opponents claim that any time Judy has to deal with people who are in pain and receiving public assistance or who earn modest wages, she becomes impolite and contemptuous. However, many people were unaware of Judge Judy's difficulties. Judy was more cruel and impatient with claimants as the years passed. Judy didn't take as many breaks as she should have because everyone who worked on the show made money. She was unable to even rest. Attorneys were compensated to appear on the broadcast. The attorneys received a range of compensation, from $500 to $100, depending on how much time they spent on camera. Some plaintiffs received as much as $250. This payment comes after the show covered the majority of their expenses during filming and provided them with lodging in Hollywood. Even if Judge Judy charges fees, those who are being tried are not required to pay them. For them, that is what the show does. Many attorneys are alleged to go on the show and fabricate cases in order to receive payment. Because of this, some Judge Judy critics claim that the show adds drama rather than realism. Judy was unable to sleep as more and more clients arrived. Additionally, she considered quitting her work in 2010. However, the agreement she had was expiring in 2014. When her contract expired, she promised to resign. But long before that time, something horrible did occur. Everything appeared to be going well when Judy arrived at work on March 30, 2011, except that she was exhausted. Judy believed that her day was going well, but it wasn't. The sheriff called a case while they were still filming. Judy listened to the parties, but the screen turned black as the case began. Judy was unconscious. She was immediately brought to the hospital. After testing her, scientists discovered that she had suffered a minor stroke. But Judy didn't give up. Rather, she received a lengthier contract and a wage increase. She was named the highest-paid TV personality that same year. In 2014, she even earned her own show, Hot Bench, because she was having so much fun. She was unaware of how challenging this spin-off would be for her. In 2017, Judy signed a new contract that kept her working until she finished her brand of justice. Her pre-tax income increased to $147 million as a result of that new deal, but it also brought up some additional issues that we will discuss shortly. When Judy received a pay increase, she completely forgot about retirement. She declared that she would only depart when her show's audience dwindled. She had a thought, but she was still enjoying herself and her work. She started working on how to make her vision a reality, nevertheless, without telling anyone about it yet. As she worked on that idea, Judy continued to be Judge Judy. She also revealed to her fans what they had all been afraid to hear in March 2020. Nevertheless, she didn't say farewell to the show the way she would have liked to in her final days there. Richard Lawrence, the president of Rebel Entertainment Partners Incorporated, filed a costly lawsuit against CBS television distribution in 2016. He and his business claimed that CBS was attempting to embezzle the show's earnings. This was particularly true after Judy was brought to CBS by two of their former employees, Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman. Rebel claimed that because CBS was paying Judy too much, they were unable to give them money. They also claimed that the show's revenue was lower than what CBS was portraying it to be. Judy became entangled in the court proceedings. It was also alleged that the woman who disproved others had stolen from those who had assisted her. According to some, Judy and CBS kept additional spin-offs from Rebel because they didn't want to divide the profits with Rebel. After years of being a tough judge and a tough lawyer, Judy wasn't prepared to be walked over. She retaliated against the charges. Richard, she claimed, was excessively avaricious and unhappy with. Her show brings in around $17 million annually. She even accused him of being self-centered for never contacting her or asking her to do anything when they first met prior to the commencement of the show. She said that while CBS received a lot of value from her, the sum they paid her was reasonable. Was her contribution to CBS truly that significant? In 2018, the court agreed with her, ruling that Judy was not being overpaid and that CBS was fortunate to have her. Judy, however, did not escape punishment for everything. According to the judge, she and CBS ought to have informed Rebel about any spin-offs. If you thought, it's not over yet. Again. Because, like Judge Judy, there were going to be a lot more turns. Richard and Rebel Entertainment were unhappy with the court's ruling. They attempted to appeal, but the judicial drama became too much for CBS to handle. After years of presenting court cases involving others, they were prepared to move on to their own. They approached and struck an agreement with Rebel Entertainment in 2020. Rebel pushed for another case because they believed they had CBS where they wanted them. Now, they were accused of Judy's similar crime. However, she was finished. Since Rebel refused to negotiate, she filed a $22 million lawsuit against them, claiming they were engaging in unethical business practices. The altercation started, but Judy was having trouble. The judge instructed her to sue CBS as well if she wished to have a case. Judy needed to decide. She had the option of staying loyal to CBS or working hard to earn the money she desired. She lost her case because she stayed with her buddies. She wasn't bothered by it. The first court's conclusion that CBS had not broken any agreements with Rebel was supported by another California court. The court determined that CBS was providing Rebel with the sum and manner specified in their contract. Judy, however, requested that her salary be increased every 3 years. She desired more employment because of this, despite the fact that she was occasionally too busy. Her victory was short-lived, but she could now enjoy it. People who had formerly been pals turned against one another when she had to battle another lawsuit. Jay Robinson, the trustee for Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreckman, filed a lawsuit against Judy, CBS Corporation, CBS Studios, and Big Ticket Television. They claimed they should be compensated for discovering Judy because they were once employed by Rebel Entertainment. Without that discovery and her subsequent return to CBS, they claimed, Judge Judy would not exist. Judy wasn't upset because this was the second time they had filed something similar. She described the case as background noise. The court dismissed it in 2021 because to its illogical reasoning. Judy had involvement in other cases as well. Judge Judy was sued in March 2013 by Patrice Jones, the wife of Randy Douthit. The show's employer is Randy Douthit. She claimed that Judy had worked with her husband to purchase pricey silverware and exquisite plates. Judy returned the silverware to Randy Douthit since things were becoming a mess. Then he handed them to his spouse. Judy continued to face charges in a couple other incidents. The one from March 2014 is particularly noteworthy. Judge Judy's photo was utilized in a few places by attorney John Haymond. When the show's director saw the advertisement, he immediately informed the attorney that utilizing Judy's photo was prohibited. The attorney ignored this and continued to run advertisements. Judy became enraged and filed a lawsuit. She claimed that without her consent, Haymond and his legal firm utilized her image in television advertisements, creating the misleading impression that Judge Judy directly endorsed Haymond's profession. Haymond, however, had no intention of giving up. In addition, he filed a lawsuit against Judy, claiming that she had defamed him and his business. He claimed that he completed the advertisements at the request of local television stations to assist in promoting Judge Judy's program. But with no one, that didn't work. Haymond begged Judy to make a bargain since he knew he would lose. Judy abandoned the lawsuit after he donated funds to her organization. It appears that Haymond has forgotten Judy's toughness. She is tough, which is how she got to where she is now. When Judge Judy ceased airing, Judy had no intention of quitting. How will she spend her leisure time? She didn't go to sleep to spend time with her grandchildren now that they were older. Instead, she collaborated with them on a project. Judy came up with a plan when Judge Judy finished. Not just older viewers of Judge Judy, but people of all ages would be interested in her new courtroom program. Judy was made a justice by her. Since her niece was younger and could assist her with that, she decided to work with her. However, she wanted to reach a larger audience, so she didn't perform the new program with Bailiff Byrd. She informed Byrd that she lacked the funds to reimburse him. This surprised Byrd, who believed that since they had known one another for a long time, Judy ought to have consulted him before making the decision for him. Byrd understood it was time to move on, despite his sadness. However, fans said no. It's not the first time Judy has treated Byrd in this manner. She avoided him when the show wasn't on and never spoke to him as if he were a buddy. Byrd was not bothered by this, but he was disappointed when the show received its first Emmy. He wasn't even seated next to Judy. She was 20 rows ahead of him. Judy let someone else present the prize when it was time. Her admirers could see it, and they would not tolerate her acting in such a manner again. When fans noticed that their favorite man was not serving as the judge on the new Judy Justice show, they were upset with Judy's actions. Then the true cause was revealed. Judy refused to let Byrd join her on the new show because she wanted someone who would appeal to younger audiences. When she did it, she nearly lost her primary followers. Judy immediately brought Byrd back after realizing her mistake, but there was a catch this time. He could play the judge in a new show called Tribunal Justice, she told him. Judge Judy is currently where? She has grown much more since becoming Judy Justice.